What is up, everybody? Welcome to the first demo day of 2026. In the comments, want to see who's here. I want to give a couple minutes here to let folks come in and into the room. Welcome. We've been doing this for, like a year and a half now. We've had over 50 companies present a demo day. And so much has changed since our first demo day, like in 2024. Isn't that crazy? 2024, I believe the companies presenting weren't all AI first companies. Today, January 22, they all are AI companies. And that's incredible and worth learning and constantly evolving as a community around go-to-market, and specifically how we could utilize AI to be more efficient and more effective in generating revenue for our companies, right? So that's what makes me so excited about today and all of our demo days this year. They're going to be AI first with companies that can help you get tremendous leverage. And when we first started demo day, I wasn't 100% sure that the community would love this. Of course, companies want to demo their products, but there's been an overwhelming support for demo days, like even more so than a traditional webinar at times, right? Because this is a super easy way for companies to be seen and for buying committees to see products without having to go through a traditional inbound process or before going through it, like actually learning. We see a lot of these companies all over LinkedIn. We see tons of workflows that are being promoted on LinkedIn with all of these different products. But often what's missing is really understanding the nuance of each product itself. So I'm so happy to be able to present this. And we have a great demo day today. So before I go through the lineup to show you what you have to see, we have 4 tremendous companies, as you see, Vaughn, Vidyard, Traction Complete, and Brevian, that are going to be presenting today. Let's take a minute to just put your LinkedIn links in the chat. Let's liven up this room a little. Let's connect with people on LinkedIn as well. This community goes, goes across platforms. We have over 4,000, maybe 5,000 now people with Rev Genius on their LinkedIn profiles. So drop your LinkedIn links in the chat below, and we'll give a minute. Definitely connect with me. LinkedIn. Now, this is an action-packed day. We don't want you to have to sit, and frankly, we want to be as concise as possible to learn about as many tools as possible. So each presenter has about 12 minutes to present, talk to you about the problem, how they're solving it, and really help you understand how, or at least start to understand how you could potentially use it, or if it isn't relevant for your use case. But we pick some tremendous companies and that have tons of relevancy. So right after I finish, in about 6 minutes, we're going to get rocking. We have Brevian starting, followed by Vaughn, followed by Traction Complete, followed by Vidyard. So in the time of about an hour or less, you're going to be able to learn about 4 new incredible companies. So quick high level on each. Brevian, tremendous new platform that's launching. It's a knowledge-powered agentic copilot that understands your product, your business, and your customers to maximize sales performance and generate actionable intelligence for revenue leaders. Vinay of Brevian is going to be showing you and describing some of the nuance and helping you understand what that actually looks like in action. Okay. And that's going to be a really great kickstart to this. Now, immediately following, because we're back to back to back to back in short period of time, we have Vaughn. Vaughn is a new product launched by our friends at Rattle that helps you with real data science for revenue teams without a PhD. So many people, like so much of AI builds in 2025, we're leaning technical. And they still are to that effect, but this is an easier to use product that turns months of RevOps analysis into minutes of strategic clarity. And our friend Sahil, co-founder and CEO of Vaughn and Rattle, you'll be able to hear from him today and really understand what they're building, why it's so exciting, and how it could be used in your org. Now we have Traction Complete as well. So RevOps Data Management Suite built natively for Salesforce. Data in general is still, we're still racking our brains around the data problem. And it's so important. We always knew it was important. But in this autonomous or moving towards autonomous world, can't it's important. It's foundational, like, and paramount. And having that structure done well could be the difference of running phenomenal go-to-market and mediocre or lesser, right? So they help teams cleanse, connect, and orchestrate their data. From account hierarchies to automation, with AI, it works where you work. So every decision is sharper and every move drives revenue. That's a key theme. Time to value with the products. This one is tremendous, and the amount of value, right? Like, think about solving some of your data challenges or all of them. That would be incredible, right? With Traction Complete, Anne Marie, their product marketing manager, will be walking you exactly through the product and how they do it and what some of the teams are experiencing. And then in closing, we have Vidyard, who's been around for a few years, a tremendous company, incredible in the video world with prospecting and everything go to market. Being an AI-powered video messaging, video hosting, sales prospecting, and buyer engagement solution for modern revenue teams, as you can imagine, they've evolved quite a bit and become more powerful than ever, and a more powerful part of your tool stack and critical part, really, to helping you set up more meetings and close more deals. And with Vidyard, Benny and Jory are going to walk you through what's changed and what's exciting there. All right, so are you ready? This is going to be action-packed. In just 2 minutes, we're going to get rocking. We're going to go right into it. Some rules of the road. If you like any of the products and want to set up demos, we'll have some CTA links in there so that you could schedule demos with the companies that you really want to learn more about, right? Like, this is just a sampling and you want to see how it's going to be used specifically in your use case, right? And set up a one-to-one call with them. Absolutely. If you have any questions, ask them in the comment section. Because everybody has 10 to 12 minutes or so, not all questions will be answered in real time, but they are going to be saved. So definitely ask the question. They will respond following, or you could set up time to learn more. We're doing this because the community has asked for it. They keep coming back for it. We've had, now thousands of go-to-market leaders come in and better their organizations from like an easier buying process. And couldn't be more excited. Like, and also help some really cool startups land some really good fit clients as well. So we're making the process easier. We're making it fun, and we're here. So my question to you, are you ready? Get ready for the first session, which will start in about a minute. Thank you all for coming here. We're going to be doing this often, and let me know if if you want to be a part of Demo Day with your product as well, not just buy, shoot me a note, send me a note for anything. We want to connect awesome companies with awesome products. So welcome to Demo Day, everybody.
Hey guys, welcome to the first session of Demo Day. I'm Harriet, Partner Success Manager here at RevGenius, and I am so happy to introduce our first startup for today, Brevian. Please welcome Vinay Vag, the co-founder and CEO of Brevian, who will take us through the product.
Hey everyone, let me share my window and get going. All right, I'm Vinay. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Brevian, and I'm really excited to share how Brevian helps supercharge go-to-market teams. But first, let's start with some hard facts. 40 to 60% of your pipeline actually evaporates mid-funnel. And this is actually a deal execution problem. Because taking a deal through its various stages from the first meeting to close, doing that expertly actually takes time, effort, knowledge, and persistence, right? And so what we see is that the top 10% of reps actually drive 65% of your revenue. This is from a report Clary did last year. And 50% of your reps are just driving 7.6%. There's this big chasm between the ones who are really performing and the middle. And that chasm today exists because your product evolves faster than reps can learn and apply that in the field. At the same time, leaders have minimal visibility into why deals are actually won, lost, or why do they even stall. And it's very hard to transform learnings once you have them into the field such that it actually changes rep behavior across an organization. If you're a sales leader, you can empathize with that. And this is the problem Brevian addresses. Brevian is a sales intelligence platform. We connect to your GTM sources and we create a knowledge graph of your products, your use cases, pain points, and we develop this deep intelligence that then is accessible to your reps and assists them from start of the deal to close, while enabling your leaders and ops teams to get deep visibility into the field and the metrics that are driving your revenue. So let's take a look at the product. I'm going to start with the first meeting, right? Let's say this is a meeting I landed with the CRO of a company because I wanted to sell them Brevian. Now, typically, when you land a meeting with a prospect, you tend to do research and build a hypothesis. I know it takes me about 30 to 45 minutes to look up all the relevant information and form an opinion. With Brevian, I get that information instantly. The minute a meeting lands on my calendar, I get this screen and I can go and look into it. Now, it gives me some general information about the company, but it also finds some interesting strategic information. Like in this case, I found out that this CRO is at a company which just received a $400 million investment from an equity firm, which means like, okay, there's some strong ARR growth here. They also acquired a company in the ASPM space, which is interesting, which means they're going to have potentially a new sales team coming in. They're also hiring. This is important information for me to form an opinion. And Brevian also suggests why this matters to my conversation, right? So in this case, it's very clear, hitting growth targets. It's a complex platform level story. So, it's going to be, reps are going to have to be technical. This is all important information for me to approach the conversation. Apart from that, it also gives me stakeholder research across different people who are attending and might be attending the call, and what are their likely pain points that I should kind of be prepared for when I talk to them. This is really useful information because a lot of times I discover things that I would have never gone and found out on my own, and so it's really good. And then we also surface up pain points and discovery questions. This is basically the bucket questions into different categories. I tend to look at this and pick maybe 3 or 4 that I think are really interesting that I wouldn't have thought of and bring them up on the call, right? But this gives you a nice little roll up of how you should kind of engage this first conversation. And then because this is the first convo, it's the meeting outcomes, like what you should be driving towards. In this case, it's, strategic priorities and fit, validate the pain point around, their MEDPIC frameworks and things like that. And also, define a high impact hypothesis. You can obviously customize this based on your stages, but this is what I get. The value of this feature is that it is basically, democratizes the meeting prep. across all your reps. No longer is this something only your best reps do well. Every rep has access to this information. Now, once I'm in a meeting, Brevian, once I'm in a meeting, Brevian actually surfaces up prompts for me as I'm approaching the conversation. In this case, the CRO basically mentioned at the 4-minute mark, as you can see, the CRO mentioned that, hey, we are looking at Chorus and their AI features. And I just it was not top of mind for me on how that positioning for us works. And Brevian came in and basically prompted this right in the moment and said, here's what you should say. And here is 3 talking points for you, very clearly highlighted, so I can form my sentences around it. But also brings up a nice, sort of real-time battle card that I can use to compare Brevian to Chorus live on the call while I'm having that conversation. And it also provides me a, follow-up question that I can ask while I'm in the meeting, which is really good. For example, he did say that Chorus isn't that great for me right now. What specifically feels like is missing? This is going to drive that conversation towards the gaps that we can help address. It also tells you why it's asking you to ask this follow-up question so that you can use that. Now, throughout your meeting, Brevian is going to analyze the context, and at key moments, it's going to prop open. Maybe every 3 to 4 minutes, you might see a prompt, which will help you strategically navigate the pain and move towards a value proposition that Brevian can address. This is really helpful for not just new reps who are ramping up, but for even experienced reps as new products launch and your sales team is trying to help everybody to sell the new product. This helps with all the prompting in the meeting so they can execute it. Now, right after the call, we produce a call summary, action item, meeting notes, because we have our own bot. I'm not going to talk about, there are many features here that we can discuss, but the key one I'd like to highlight is around MedPick. We use MedPick as a framework in our company. You may use Spice, Paramedic, whatever, but Brevian extracts all the information about this from the call, but also from past calls, and then it merges that information. So no longer is it like, hey, this is what I learned on this call. We maintain your MedPick across all of that, and then we also help you easily update it in your CRM. With a single click, I can go in, look at my action items, summaries. I can generate the MedPick, and I can get a nice little nifty interface to go make any edits if I want, and then I can click push to CRM, right? We support Salesforce, HubSpot, and others. So this makes it really easy for your reps to finish a call, learn what happened, figure out next steps, send the follow-ups, update your CRM, and move on. But that's not my favorite part about this, right? What I really like about this portion is that I like to know how I did on a call right after. And because Brevian not only understands your product context and what your product actually does, but it knows what good looks like in your company and what great looks like, it gives me feedback on how that call went. Not only does it give me highlights and lowlights, but it actually can give me feedback on elements that other products don't, because they don't understand the product. For example, let me bring up product positioning here, right? I got a 2.0. Well, okay, I'm not a great sales guy, I suppose, but the reason it gave me that is because when the customer brought up Chorus, I just mentioned like, yeah, those are like pre-LLM companies, it's a different architecture. But what that didn't do is exactly explain why Brevian is better. Just saying the architecture is old is not sufficient. So what Brevian said is, hey, like, that's okay, but next time, just say Chorus excels at post-call review, whereas Brevian adds real-time in-call guidance. That's the key distinction here that you're supposed to call out. Now, imagine if your sales enablement team or your central teams are producing content about how to position, what's our benefits, competitive battle cards, it shows up in every rep's console in Brevian, so that they are kind of you're changing rep behavior and getting them to perform like your best reps. We rate on 10 different dimensions, but this can also be customized to your liking. So if there are dimensions you care about. Now I'm going to go into a little bit of a as the deal executes, reps use our chat interface, which you see in front of you, to not only strategize on how to proceed in a deal, what are the risks of the deal, but also figure out what went wrong in deals that close. Like, I guess do thumbs up if you lost a deal in the past, which you thought was going well and didn't know why. It happened to us recently, right? And so what we did is we went into Brevian and we put in like, hey, why did I lose this deal? By the way, these real deals. We just anonymized it to say Acme. And so I went in and asked like, hey, why did we lose Acme? And Brevian analyzes the entire context across several meetings and gives me a full comprehensive report on it. Now we won't go into everything, but but what I want to call out in this loss report is actually this piece, right, which is what are the loss reasons. There was no explicit we chose your competitor, or like this is a reason why we're not going forward. None of that was there. They just kind of stopped responding. But what Brevian has done is identified like, hey, the reasons are because of your demo, that existing stack, and Jordan was probing a lot of questions, and there was a hidden agenda, like message there that we didn't catch. For example, they had an overlapping custom GPT stack. They had used GPTs to build, rubber band together a bunch of stuff, and it was their baby. They kept asking questions about, how does this compare? How does this differentiate? And so what we didn't clearly do in this call is articulate why Brevian is so much better than rubber banding together custom GPTs. And the reason is keeping this context, knowledge, and learnings up to date consistently is very hard to do with GPTs. And clearly a sales organization cannot use it. It's great for individuals. And so we were not able to articulate on that on this call, and it came through, and Brevian said, you didn't do that. And hence there were unresolved differentiations in their do it by approach. And that's why you kind of lost this deal. This was a revelation for us, I think. And when we learned this, the first thing that we did is figure out, okay, how do we address this next time? How do I, do the better? And how do I produce content and collateral that will help other reps not do the same thing, right? And so what we did right after is we basically went and said, okay, let us know what we can do better next time. And for me, I love getting feedback and coaching. And what we realized is it clearly articulated, specifically for me, it gave me a full report and said, listen, there are patterns that are showing up that are not improving. One is
Thank you so much, Vinay.
Yeah.
That was Brevian for you. And now it's time for Vaughn. See you all in the next session.
All right.
Hey everyone, I'm Nandini, Managing Operations here at RevGenius, and I'm here with Vaughn. Please welcome Sahil Agarwal, the CEO and co-founder of Vaughn, who will walk us through his product.
Hey everyone, my name is Sahil. I'm one of the co-founders of and CEO of Vaughn. I'm also the co-founder and CEO of Rattle. A lot of you might know Rattle as the workflow automation platform between Salesforce and Slack. And Vaughn is our newest product that I'm very excited to introduce to all of you and give you an actual product demo today. We built Vaughn to be AI native from the ground up. And hopefully what you see today should be, we think it's groundbreaking, but I would love to see what you think. So with that, let me share my screen. So Vaughn is an AI data scientist. This is the first data scientist in the entire world for revenue teams. And when I show you the demo, it would make sense for why it's an AI data scientist. But before we talk about the capabilities for what Vaughn can do and who Vaughn is for, let's talk about the problem that we want to solve. There are a lot of revenue team members and ops people in this demo webinar today. And I'm very glad that actually you all showed up for seeing demos of 4 products. Love that. But as ops team members or as revenue leaders, you get so many questions a day that eat up almost all of your time. These are very reactive questions. Now, whether it's a sales leader sending you this question or whether it's a question that you want answer to because you have to put it on a board deck and you go to your BI team to answer it. So what are those? So on a daily basis, you get things like which deals are going dark, prep me for my 2 p.m. one-on-one with Jane, where is she stuck and what should we coach? Weekly, you get help me prep for the forecast meeting, tell me hygiene and suggest updates based on calls and internal communication. On a monthly basis, you get use my historical data to predict where I will land this quarter and rank my accounts and build a list of top 100. On a quarterly basis, you have to calculate commissions and do win-loss analysis. And on an annual basis, you have to identify top performers and their trends and which emerging markets. And these are just some of the questions that you get on this frequency. Vaughn can answer every single one of them. Vaughn is built for RevOps team to get an AI data scientist in your back pocket. And Vaughn hooks to structured and unstructured data. It's not just doing this on Salesforce or Snowflake or Databricks. It's doing it on calls, emails, seller notes, product documentation, external information about the buyer. So you should think of Vaughn as someone who has a data science PhD from MIT, has the intuition of a CRO with RevOps jobs, and can process up to 10,000 calls in under a few minutes. And MedPick is something that is super easy for Vaughn. Before I show you the product, I just want to say one thing, which is when you see Vaughn, you will see that it's very versatile in terms of what it can do. And we'll actually use live examples to show you what the product can do. I think the era of point solutions is dead in SaaS. There will be a single platform that can do everything that you have 10 or 15 tools to do. So with that, let me show you one. Very simple interface, looks exactly like ChatGPT. So Vaughn is connected to all these systems. Salesforce, Google Calendar, call recorder, internal documentation, and some of these data warehouse and customer support that are coming soon. So I can come in here and let me ask Vaughn a question. So I'm going to ask it a question that I need answers to on a weekly basis before my forecasting call. And I'm going to ask it which deals are more than midway in my funnel and what are significant risks with those deals. And which of those deals are essentially dead but are still in the pipeline. I want you to only do this for new business opportunities, and I want you to look at calls too. And then I asked it to mask name the numbers because this is connected to our actual Salesforce instance because I wanted to show you live for what it can do. So let's see. The first thing Vaughn does is based on the question, it builds a plan. Now, Vaughn is very outcome focused and it will spin up agents based on the question. And it can spin up to 130 different agents based on what the question is. And it will keep querying data sources till it gets the answer. So in this case, to answer this, Vaughn identified, first let me identify Salesforce fields. Then I want to understand what is midway in my pipeline. Then I want to fetch those stage 2+ deals. Then I will get their calls. I will then analyze stalled deals, and then I will present risk. And in less than 30 seconds, I got the answer. So it found 9 new business deals. And now it's typing out, okay, so the first part of the answer was deals that need attention, that have risk. And then this is zombie pipeline. So there are 2 deals in zombie pipeline. And then there are these 4 deals that are doing well, active and progressing. Now imagine going into the forecast call, just asking this question across hundreds and thousands of your deals and getting an answer in less than 30 seconds. Again, this is just one use case. So now, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to ask Vaughn, hey, can you move those zombie deals to close lost and fill the close lost reason by looking at the calls? And I'm going to tell it again, mask names and numbers. So it's also checking what close lost reasons are available in Salesforce, and that's what it will suggest. And by the way, these queries executed, so one is fully auditable, which means that if I go into the previous answer and click on any of these queries, you can see the queries that it's writing and the results. I won't click on results because then you will see our actual data, but this is 100% auditable. And I'm pretty sure till now, like, that's it. I can now update this opportunity and move these zombie deals to close lost. So one is one interface where it's not just getting answers, but it's actionable. Imagine saying, give me all the solutions, give me all closed loss deals that were lost because of pricing in the last 12 months. Write a personalized email for each one of those contacts and put them into outreach. That's why I was saying the era of point solutions is dead. You will have a singular solution that will be able to move across your entire stack and provide intelligence. In the demo, the next thing that I want to show you is semantics layer. So Vaughn has a semantics layer and it takes minutes to train it. So all you do is when you want to teach Vaughn and say, hey, maybe Vaughn doesn't understand your semantics or your business definitions. So, and let's say I want to ask Vaughn about expansions. So what I can do is I can simply give it a report from Salesforce, which has expansions. So I just gave it the link and I told it, this is how we categorize expansions. Can you remember this? And now Vaughn will go into this report, fetch all metadata, and will store this in its memory. So the next time when a sales leader or a rep or anyone from a company asks this question, Vaughn will know how you do expansions. So we see users will give Vaughn their top 5 reports and tell it, this is how we calculate churn, this is how we calculate new business, this is how we calculate expansions. Vaughn learns it and that's it. It can work for your entire org. So now it has retrieved the metadata and it has now saved this to memory. And I can go into settings, go into memory, and I can see that under expansion categorization, it's saved from that report. That's it. And next time when I ask it about expansions, it will automatically fetch it. The third thing is that Vaughn has a BI layer too. So what I mean by that is for very complex scenarios, let's say where I ask it to do comprehensive analysis for my Q4 sales performance, identify trends, top performing categories. It will first run it on 30 sample records. And then I'll say, yeah, I want you to run the full analysis. And now Vaughn is saying it will take 10 to 15 minutes for it to run on 900 records. I'm going to skip to the result just because it's a demo. And Vaughn has now created a very comprehensive dashboard on my entire Q4. But you know what's amazingly cool? I was going to swear. I can build this into a dashboard, any dashboard. And Vaughn is creating a dashboard on the fly that I can then publish across my company. The era of static dashboards from Tableau and Looker is over because Vaughn can do this on structured and unstructured data and can make it conversational, where I can now talk to this dashboard. So I know that I only have 30 seconds left. This was a very quick demo of Vaughn. We posted my calendar link where if you want to get a demo of Vaughn, you can. These are some of the use cases. If you want, you can take a screenshot for things that we have seen people do. And then finally, there's nothing like seeing is believing. You can get a 4-week free trial of Vaughn, and it takes minutes to set up. There is no reason not to. Thank you. I'm right on time.
Hi, guys. Welcome to Demo Day. I'm Harriet, Partner Success Manager here at RevGenius, and I am so happy to introduce Traction Complete. Please welcome Anne-Marie Fleming, Product Marketing Manager at Traction Complete, who is going to take us through the product.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. I'm thankfully not alone, though. I have my colleague Seb Dano in the backstage, so feel free to put in any questions you may have into the chat, and he'd be happy to help you with those. So Traction Complete, we have a suite of RevOps solutions that essentially help companies address some of the most challenging data management problems they'll face in Salesforce. And I'm really excited today because I want to talk about a couple ways that we are empowering teams to leverage AI to tackle some of those problems. So we could talk about a million different data management problems, but I really want to focus in on an issue, a challenge that organizations have not been able to properly address for decades. And that is when leads come in, if they look real, it's very likely that they're going to fool your form, get through your gatekeeping efforts, and unfortunately go all the way through your process to the point of being assigned to sales reps. So sales reps then have to take their time away from selling and put it on cleaning up and clarifying these poor leads that shouldn't have reached them in the first place. And worse than that, it's probably taken their spot in the round robin. The reason that it has failed for so long is because traditional methods are fundamentally flawed. They require a rule-based system that is trying to anticipate every variation that comes through the system, and that's just a losing battle. So it's no wonder that sales reps are inherently skeptical about the data that reaches them. When they look at a lead, they're asking things like, is this real? Can I use it? Or most importantly, is it even worth my time? And that skepticism is warranted because we've had this problem for so long. But that's about to change because AI is giving us access to a level of flexibility that we've never had before, allowing us to cast a much wider net and capture a lot of those records that our traditional methods have never been able to filter out. It's like having your own assistant. If you had a person and you tried to instruct them on how to address these issues, you would give them some instructions, some examples, a bit of context, and then you would count on them to make decisions because they have a brain. AI acts in much the same way in that it also can make decisions. It just needs your instructions, your context, and your examples to do just that. So Traction Complete has approached being able to empower teams with AI in a couple different ways. We took a look at our customers and our market and said, where are people really spending their time? We know that a lot of people in our industry are spending time in spreadsheets, and we also know that they're spending a lot of time in Salesforce. And so we have enabled them to leverage the power of AI in both of these environments. So first, I'm going to show you what we've done with Complete Discover. It's a new product we just launched, which gives you the ability to use natural language prompts and different LLMs to test out a variety of data enrichment use cases. The idea is this is your safe space. This is where you test ideas. And then once you have validated that those ideas are worthy of coming into Salesforce, then we support people in Salesforce through Complete AI, which allows teams to leverage AI directly in their Traction Complete flows. So let's take a look. Okay, so as I said, Complete Discover allows you to use AI directly in your Google Sheet. It is a Chrome extension, and it allows you to tap into a variety of LLMs using your own API keys. And essentially the way it works is any cell that is empty is a cell that AI is going to enrich. So everything you see here that's green, that has been enriched by AI. And the way it gives information to AI is it takes any cell that has information as well as your column headers as context, and then your prompt is really giving it those guiding principles that you want it to deliver the results following. So those are the instructions that you would give a person. We're giving those kind of instructions and examples to AI, and then asking it to use the context that's available in the sheet itself. So obviously you can do any number of use cases here because you have access to anything that's publicly available. But what I want to do is I want to tie it back to that problem that I mentioned just moments ago about how do we accommodate bad leads that come into your system that look real, that fool your form. So here's a list of leads that all would fool a form. There's some obvious ones, test user, and there's also some real leads in here. But then there's also some nuances that forms would never be able to pick up on. So people that are obviously like famous people, these are fake leads, but through the eyes of a rule would be very difficult to filter out. So I've given AI some instructions, some rules on how I want them to look at that. And I'm asking it to score the quality. I'm asking it to give me some reasoning. And then I'm asking it to flag whether or not this is a junk record. And so let's take a quick look. So on the lead that is actually legitimate, it did a good job, 5 out of 5. And it actually says it appears to be a legitimate business. And it gives you some more information, and it definitely flags it as not being junk. So score 1 for AI. And then also it was pretty easy for it to pick up test user as placeholder text or testing text. So that one was very correctly flagged as a junk, and it gave it a 0. But where I think you see the cleverness of AI is when you look at the ones that are less obvious, but also look real if you are coming through a form. So John Lennon, we know him from the Beatles. AI looked at the name, but went beyond that and looked at the other context in the other cells and made the decision that this is a junk record, because when you look at John Lennon paired with the company name Strawberry Fields Consulting, that directly references one of his famous songs, Strawberry Fields Forever, indicating a fake lead and correctly flagging it as such. So you start to see the potential here. So now that I've iterated, I've refined things, and everything's coming through the way I want to now say, okay, I want to roll this out. I want to automate it. I want to scale it. I want this to be part of our process. How do I do that? Well, let's take a look. So when you're ready to bring it into Salesforce, we give teams the ability to use AI directly in their workflows. So let's take a look at how we do that. So right here is basically the way that we recreate the scenario we just tested in Complete Discover. You're selecting the LLM and the model, and then you're giving AI the fields to use as context. So in Complete Discover, the cells and the column headers are your context fields. In Salesforce, you're going to be pointing AI to the different fields to use as context. So same information is getting delivered to AI. Then you're going to want to pick the fields to enrich. So that is quality score and the reasoning that we saw in Google Sheets. So I created a couple new fields in Salesforce to accommodate that. And it is literally the same prompt I used in Discover being used now inside of Salesforce. And then the final thing I'm asking it to do is that last column I showed you. I want it to look at the quality score, and then I want it to set a flag on whether or not this is a junk record. Okay, so let us look at an actual live example. Okay, so I'm setting AI up here with Bruce Springsteen. There could be a legitimate lead called Bruce Springsteen. So I need it to look at the other context fields I pointed it towards. So let's put this through. Just give it a second to run through the flow and see what it does. Let's hit refresh. Let's look up. And there we go. So it correctly did the quality score at 1, just like you saw in Complete Discover in the Google Sheet. It correctly flagged it as a junk record, which we'll use for downstream effects. And it also gave us the reasoning that that is a celebrity name with the company referencing the celebrity's band. So just to put it into context here, if you had a bigger flow, which most companies would have, we're not asking you to create brand new flows to start to leverage AI. We're showing you how you can actually insert AI capabilities directly in your existing Traction Complete flows. So here's an example. Here's the exact use case I just showed you. The only difference is I added a filter step that says, look for that flag on whether or not it's junk. And if it is junk, let's put it into the junk queue. So it never goes all the way through your flow to the point of being assigned. And then if it is worthy of moving through your flow because it's a valid lead, then let's do that. Let's let it through, and let's go through all of the assignment process that you have set so that when the reps do get that lead, we can start to eliminate that skepticism, because they're going to start to believe in the quality of these leads because we have AI acting as our gatekeeper. Okay. So the last thing I will just point to is one more slide. If you liked what you saw with our Complete Discover product in Google Sheets, we are actually having a live demo on January 29th where we're going to dig into it even more. We're going to show some different use cases because I barely scratched the surface today. But it's a great way to look at what the tool is capable of in a deeper way. So if you are unable to grab this QR code here, then please just come to tractioncomplete.com and you can register there. Hope to see you soon. Thanks so much.
Hey everyone, hope you all had fun with Traction Complete. I'm Nandini, Managing Operations here at RevGenius, and I'm back with Vidyard. Please welcome Bini and Jory, who will walk us through their product.
So thank you for the introduction. My name is Jory. I'm a business development representative here at Vidyard, and this is Benny.
Yeah, hey everyone. I'm on the solutions consulting side of the house here at Vidyard, most prominently.
So just really quick, if there are any questions, please feel free to put those in the Q&A. And our team will do the best to answer any questions you may have. So there should also be some time for a couple of questions post-demo for Benny and I, if anyone has some for us. So yeah, feel free to keep those in mind. Without further ado, today we're going to take a look at one fantastic automated workflow for Vidyard's video agent that has helped our customers cut no-show rates for meetings without reps needing to lift a finger. So there's a moment in the sales cycle that often gets overlooked. That's the gap between when a meeting is booked and when it actually happens. The buyer's interested, the meeting is on the calendar, and then all of a sudden, the buyer becomes a ghost. We've all been there, or at least heard this before. So without any personalized touch or reinforcement of value, meeting confirmations are really just another email. And we're hoping someone with an inbox like this poor guy we're all looking at now stays engaged and actually shows up. But we know that doesn't always work. Buyers get busy, momentum fades, and most reps don't have the time to send thoughtful, personal reminders for every meeting. That's why this moment matters. When you personalize just enough, remind them of who you are, why this meeting matters, and most importantly, what's in it for them, buyers will show up ready to engage. So Benny, let's see how it works.
Okay, thanks, Jory. Yeah, absolutely. And you can even see it right here. Just before we dive into all the nitty-gritty, the setup and what it actually looks like in practice, it's worth just remembering the idea that video in your messaging is such a value add to have you all stand out. I'm just looking at this example over here, taking away even just the idea of video agent, you can see the difference that just having a standard text-based email, what that looks like versus having a video embedded within. And just the ability to have a video that pops is one thing, but then the ability to personalize it and have it resonate that much more effectively with the prospect or with your recipient is another. And it's something, again, time and time again, that's proven to cut through, to increase your response rates, cut through the noise, increase general engagement. And so this idea of including video within your messaging is something that if you're not doing already, you really should be doing. But this isn't really a secret. This has been going on for a while now. Something that has come up a little bit more recently, though, is just the time challenge that people are starting to come up with when it comes to creating a video at all the times that it would be opportunistic to do so. So whether it be to follow up a meeting, or whether it be to remind people of things that are upcoming, or whether it be from a prospecting perspective, not always do we have time to always be creating personalized videos for every single person, every single time at the right touch point. And so to Jory's point, this is exactly where Video Agent comes in. Now, in this particular example, we're going to be taking a look at how Video Agent can support a use case around a meeting being booked, and then us now reminding people of the fact that, hey, you have a meeting coming up, really looking forward to chatting about XYZ, whatever it is that's been scheduled to chat about. But bear in mind that there are a wide range of use cases that Video Agent can support. Some of them we've already listed, but really any sort of situation that a video could be impactful as part of your messaging could potentially be one where Video Agent fits in. And now the way that Video Agent works specifically, and so in this case, again, it'll be one that steps in right after a meeting is booked, is that it essentially takes context that already lives within your ecosystem, whether it be within your CRM or elsewhere, to ultimately create a personalized video reminder for recipients, one that looks like it came straight from one of your reps without your reps having to do a thing. To Jory's point, your team could create these videos without having to actually get in front of a camera to do so. And unlike generic emails, like what we saw, these videos allow you to get real engagement signals before a call even happens. So engagement signals like people are watching your videos, how much of the video they watched, all of these you're able to get a sense of how engaged they are before that meeting even happens. So with all that, let's actually now take a look at how easy this is to set up end to end. Now, here we are within Vidyard. For those of you that aren't familiar, this is just our homepage here within our interface. And what we're going to pop into is this concept of AI avatars in our system. And so an AI avatar is essentially an ability for you to be able to create a digital version of yourself with just a 90-second training video. And then with these avatars, once you've created these, it looks the way you want it to, it sounds the way you want it to. What we can next do is then move into another part of our system called campaigns, where we're now able to take these avatars and create essentially templates for us to be able to use them at scale, to be able to create videos for pretty much any given recipient based upon different triggers that we'd like to set up. And so in this particular case, you can see that my campaign is set up with things like a title of videos, or however I want to title these videos, using a combination of static text and variable fields. I can modify which of my avatars I want to use, the layout of the video, and most importantly, the script. And again, these variables that we have here, these are able to get piped in directly from your CRM or other sources of data that you have that we could connect, whether it be via native integration, via API, and some other options as well. And so with this all set up, what we can next do is now move over to Zapier. In this particular case, again, we're going to take a look at one narrow use case of sending a meeting reminder before a meeting is to take place. And we're going to take a look at it within the context of Zapier. But Vidyard's video agent supports integrations with probably a lot of the tools that you already have within your existing tech stack. And then for those tools that we don't natively integrate with, we do have our video agent API that pretty much gives us flexibility to connect with any other system you need to really create these really cool buyer and stakeholder journeys using video. And so here in this particular case, again, we're just going to take a look at this one here, where here we have a Zap where we're going to say something like, before a meeting is supposed to take place, we want an AI to analyze some details about this meeting, see who's involved as a part of it, and then we want Vidyard to get involved to create a video and send it off. So here we have Chili Piper recognizing the fact that a meeting has been booked. We then have AI by Zapier to recognize some details like who's this meeting going to be with, again, when the meeting is supposed to take place, et cetera, et cetera. And then from there, we want to get Vidyard involved to say, okay, let's create a video using Vidyard. And not just any video, but let's create a campaign video using that script that we saw a little bit earlier. And so we could say, okay, let's do that. We next want to choose which script we want to use. So we simply select exactly which one we want to do. In this case, it'll be our meeting reminder script. And the next fields we're able to take a look at are then just the fields we're getting from the AI. So this could be coming from, in this case, AI by Zapier, from Chili Piper. This could be coming from fields within your CRM. This could be coming from fields within your marketing automation platform, fields within your database. We're able to map across any sort of field to these variables that we saw over there in the script in Vidyard. And the final step here, so at this point, we have the video being generated based upon the trigger. The final step here is to actually send it out. And so within Vidyard, we could say through our distribution platform of choice, we'll choose Gmail for now, to send an email. And not just any email, but again, an email with that video embedded already within. So we could set this up on day 0 and have this automatically then trigger and automatically plug in the proper person's video for the proper recipient automatically within these templates and have them sent out, such that from an end experience perspective, before a meeting is set to take place, the recipient is able to receive an email from their rep where they could click into it, watch it within a branded experience, except for your branded or for your organization. And from there, you're able to get all sorts of great analytics back to your systems to let you know that people are engaging with video and ultimately get all the benefits of personalized videos and personalized reminders and all the rest without your team having to actually do a thing. And again, this was just one use case. You can also set up workflows for renewals, post-meeting recaps, outbound outreach, webinar reminders. The list is truly endless, let alone the number of systems you could connect with. And so, yeah, really looking forward to hearing about how you all set this up in the future. And obviously, we're always here at your disposal to help out however we can. And Jory,
Nice.
Back over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Vinny. So this one moment has real impact. Teams using Video Agent for meeting reminders have seen no-shows drop by 30%. That's more meetings held, better prepared buyers, and less time chasing follow-ups that shouldn't have been needed in the first place. Like Vinny mentioned, there are many awesome use cases for Video Agent. As a sales rep myself, I use Video Agent, of course, for meeting confirmations, but also for outreach, for follow-ups, and to help re-engage those ghosts I was talking about before. I generally see about a 4 times increase in the replies when using video as opposed to traditional text emails. Vidyard is genuinely a sales tool that I couldn't imagine selling without. So if I could ask one thing of everyone here today, I'd ask you to take a moment and consider, what would a 30% decrease in no-shows or a 2 to 3 times boost in replies mean for your business? So just want to thank everyone for listening. I think that's it for us. But if there's any questions, now would be a fantastic time.
Or for anyone who's ever used Vidyard in the past, we have a couple of minutes here. Always happy to hear about those types of stories, how you're using video, how you'd like to use video, if you've ever received a personalized video in the past as well. I'd love to hear your experiences. And if not, that's okay too. Yeah. Oh, if we see a couple of great questions here already. We have one question in here about how do we compare with, actually here we have one that just popped up as well. Or how do we handle email deliverability? So yeah, this is a great question. There's all sorts of really great ways that Vidyard is able to do this. One way is for example, not actually embedding the video itself into the email body. This helps not trigger spam filters. There's also different best practices we have where based upon the recipients that you're reaching out to, if you find that they do have very tight security where if you're reaching out as an unknown contact, all links and images are blocked, then we do have some best practices to say, hey, maybe send an initial outreach without a video, get that response, and then become that trusted contact before you're using this. For other organizations or other industries, that's not as needed per se. It's also worth noting too that we piggyback off of your email deliverability reputation and servers and whatnot. We're not rerouting anything through Vidyard. So we really give you the best chance to get those videos and get these emails delivered without hitting any spam filters. Another great question we have here is how do we compare with Loom? Great question. And you see a lot of examples of that kind of person within the bigger picture recorded using Loom. And we'll be the first to say Loom is a great product. It's phenomenal, works really well. The big difference maker between us and Loom is that Loom's use case is very much focused on internal communications, whereas Vidyard is very much focused to go to market. So if you're reaching out as part of your sales team, as part of your marketing team, the integrations we support are much more catered towards your teams versus Loom, which will be much more catered towards those internal use cases. But that being said, Vidyard can be used for those internal use cases as well.
Great. So I think that was time for us. Yeah, thank you to RevGenius for having us today. And appreciate everyone's time.
Yeah, thank you all.
All right, everybody. Just like that, we have finished the inaugural demo day, and I couldn't be more excited. We had some absolutely tremendous speakers today and really awesome products. You saw Brevian, Vaughn, Traction Complete, and Vidyard. What did you think? Do you like this format? Let me know in the comments if this was helpful. Also, we're going to be doing this frequently. So be on the lookout in the RevGenius community for the next demo day to be announced and the speakers there. Hopefully you found some awesome products or incredibly new use cases and thought processes that you're going through to reevaluate how you're going to market or the tools that you're using in your go-to-market rather to make it even better. I want to thank all of you for coming and all of the tremendous speakers and companies for supporting RevGenius and for this demo day. If you have interest in learning more about any of the products, you'll see a bunch of CTAs from the products in the comments, and we'll also send you an email after this with links to book time, of course. We want to make this as valuable as possible for you, so any feedback you have, feel free to provide the team directly in Slack community. Like, we want to hear it all, and we really, really appreciate you all. This is just the first demo day of the year. You see how the products have been evolving in the space. And again, we're so excited and so appreciative of your time today. So we'll let you get back to your day. And